Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast. This is episode 6, still not cancelled as much as we try. I'm joined again by Shelby.
Hello, it's me.
And Leboguy's here.
Bonjour.
And Pez is joining us.
Hi, it's me.
Solely because Leboguy last week said that Pez has to come here to back up all his stories, otherwise we won't believe it.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for that. So I'm ringing. So basically, I'm here as just a credible source, all right? So let's get it out of the way. And second of all, you're just a mistake having both of us on the podcast together. So I'm just going to put that out on the road.
I think after last week's mistake, you know, it kind of escalated. But like I said, we're not cancelled yet, so...
Oh, we'll be pushing limits today. Let me tell you that much.
Look, we're taking over the podcast.
We can't tell already because, you know... I don't want to end up in cuffs, but you know.
Yeah, so this week it's the Zombies Love Walla podcast. It's Lego and Pez featuring Shelby and Eladi. This is our time to shine.
Why is it the Zombies Love Walla? Pez isn't Lebo?
He is now. His new name's Ahmed.
Ahmed, yeah.
Spends enough time with him, so he's a token white boy amongst us.
He's got the certification ticket.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Vince, but the fucking the name of Muhammad translated to English is David or something like that.
Let me see.
Oh, he doesn't even know.
He's gonna look it up. He's gonna
doesn't even know.
I'm Lebo.
Because like it's just something I was told for a while, and I always wanted to know what my my translation was. Like, what is mine? Like, I want to have a Lebo name.
I mean, he calls me Zubber a lot, but I'm not really sure. I mean,
he calls everyone that. That's something new.
I'm gonna have to Google this. Okay, so apparently yours is just J, but they just say
yeah, of course.
They just
guys, we've solved that one. All right, close the show. We're done. All right, my name is Jay in Lebanese. Oh, not Lebanese, Arabic fucking names. Let's go.
Wait, it gets better. You gotta listen to how you say it.
Okay.
Well, we can't hear it.
No, I'll send it to you. It's literally just J, but she says J.
Jay.
So
it's just the female pronouncing my name. Good to know. All right, I gotta ring a female around every time I'm introducing myself in Western Sydney. I gotta have her say my name now.
Yeah, but it's not. Make sure she says J, not
J.
So
Jay.
you're like, hi, I'm Jay, and they're like, do you mean Jay?
What about Pez? Does Pez have a translation?
I don't.
It's probably like fucking dickhead or something like that.
Pez, Bays.
Bays, yes. Pez Bays. Let's go.
Biz.
All right, I'll sync one if you want me to. All right.
Is there a translation for my name?
Let's see.
I got a weird name, so.
You sure you want to ask?
Yeah, I want to know.
It's furiously typing. Yeah, that's a good sign.
The enter key's been hit. Like, oh yes, I've entered.
It's Shilby.
Shilby. Okay, cool. I'll take it.
He's got nothing.
Let's like throw an I in there or something. Like, yeah, this is good enough. Like,
let's see how you say Zabber.
Oh my god.
Okay, Zuber.
It's like an Uber, but you know.
Zuber.
I have a question.
Anyway. Okay.
How long have you two known each other?
Oh fuck!
Because I'm just thinking that most of us have been on the podcast. Most of us met. A lot of us met through RP, for GTA RP, and that's been the last couple of years. But you guys have known each other for...
unfortunately, a lot longer.
23 now?
Putting in exact numbers on it, primary school was where we met. I remember I don't remember him as a friend. I probably was like, he's probably like one of the... It's probably, you know, where like when
if you go on your website, you literally see the first thing. My first memory of gaming is at
no. Let me get to the fucking story, all right? So I don't remember him as a friend at school. Okay, let me finish the sentence. Like, you know, like playing like basketball on the basketball ring. I don't remember any of that shit, right? The first thing I remember about Vince, right, was around the time that San Andreas GTA came out, right?
Yeah,
and right. If anyone has seen me, I'm a white boy. And I live in Western Sydney, and Vince is obviously a very Lebo guy.
So the only one there, right?
Yeah, I'm one of very few, right? Where it's like seeing it's like seeing a unicorn out here, right? Anyway, so I obviously grew up in a white, fucking Caucasian family, you know, mum and dad are Aussie parents, that sort of thing. My first experience was going to his house. His dad put me in the back of his van didn't have seats, laid on a mattress.
What? Hang
On a
on.
mattress? Mind you, I'm like, how old would I have been? Like,
Hang on. This is going to get you on a list.
white van, by the way, white van. Back of the white van, there was no candy, unfortunately, but there was a mattress. It was like a queen size mattress. So it was a good time, right?
And a bumper sticker that said, "Don't come a knocking." If
so Vince gets in the front seat. I'm getting in the back. Mind you, I'm getting picked up from the school. My mum and stuff are at home. Like, it's just an arranged date or whatever they used to call it back then, right? And I go over to his house. So he lives like 5 minutes down the road anyway. But yeah, so that was my first experience, was meeting his dad, who's like one of the most import Arab people I've ever met. Getting into that and then playing San Andreas for hours, just going around beating up strippers and stuff like that in Grove Street. And that's like some of my earliest gaming memories. And that was like my earliest memories of him. And that's like 23 years, you reckon now?
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gone a while.
Yeah. Now let me tell you my first memory of this fucking bastard.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot different. So next door to his house is our cousin's house, or 2 houses down, and they were concreting and building, and my dad was doing the job. So I spoke to him at school the day before, because it was Saturday. They were doing it. Yeah, I'll come over. This, and that. We're next door to you. He goes, yeah, come. Like, yeah, I'm mad. So I go all day. I'm laying on the mattress waiting for him to come. The ice cream man comes. The ice cream. The ice cream man comes. I'm like,
Can we take a step? He doesn't mean come as in like comes. Okay, right.
I wait for him to come home.
I don't mind a bit of bloke on bloke, all right? But that wasn't the time for it back then, all right?
Yeah,
we weren't bloke back then. We were just young and dumb.
You're kids.
We were boys. But I waited for him to come back from football. So I'm like, yeah. You know, the ice cream man's coming. I'll buy some ice cream for us. He'll be back here soon. He said 12:30 he'll be here. I buy ice cream. I'm sitting 12:30, nothing. 1 o'clock, nothing. 2 o'clock, nothing. 4 o'clock, we leave the job site. The cunt's still not home. 80, the whole ice cream melted. I'll go back to school on Monday. I'll go, bro, what happened? I was waiting for you. He goes, oh, we went somewhere after. I was like, you fucking bastard. That's the first memory I have of him.
And this
So
is
he
back
stood you up.
Yeah, I'll stand him up again.
This is before he came to my house as well.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. I'll stand you up again. It's all right. But this is before the times of like phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, we had to talk in school.
Yeah.
I had to send you a pigeon if I wanted
when
to.
you left your house. that's
Wait,
it.
was this before MSN Messenger and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
bro, we were in fucking year 1, year 2 when this was going on.
When did that become a thing?
MSN
2007
Messenger.
was like peak.
Was it? 2007? No, it's earlier than that.
Oh,
I
we
was
were
using
actually,
MSN.
Vince. Let's be real. We were on
You
like
know what?
Yahoo Chat and stuff before
You
that,
know
weren't
what?
we?
I have an email, actually, my first ever Hotmail. I'll tell you when we were on MSN, bro. My email was vince2001 at hotmail.com.
You reckon you made it in 2001?
I don't know. I wonder if I could get access to it. I want to try to slide in.
Man, I remember my Hotmail was the worst. It was Macca007.
Macca.
Yes.
That's insulting.
Oh, it was
first one?
bad.
I remember reading your ice.
I remember.
I
remember one of them. I had
few.
many. You know, like back then, emails was like changing your shirt. Like you'd have a new one every week.
Yeah.
And be like, my old one got hacked, and then you just make a new one, but really didn't get hacked. You just wanted to have it.
Yeah, we had nothing
Like
important in there. It's just fucking
Yeah.
spam. So
Yeah.
it.
Like
But then,
now,
you know,
now I got to unsubscribe to everything. Change it.
I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I had a friend who he kept his Hotmail email forever. And like got to the point when he's an adult and he's applying for jobs with his email,
dude.
which was good with the woman's at hotmail.com.
Oh my God.
This is going back like a year and a bit ago now. When I was doing I was helping out with the recruitment for work, the amount of resumes and stuff that come through that have like those sort of emails on it, it's ridiculous. And I want to take their application seriously, but I look at the email, I'm like, come on, bro, have you grown up? Like, am I worth like talking to you, sort of thing? It's just make a new email, please. Even if it's you keep all your other shit on the other one, I don't care. But
Yeah, you
You're
make a
applying for
work
stuff?
email that is like your first dot, your last name, or something like professional.
What's wrong with on the run at iCloud.com? Or Lebo to envy at live.com?
that was one of your that was one of
It's
your
like
ones. I remember that one.
There's those TikToks going around where the people ask him to sign up to like their loyalty card, and like they go, what's your email? And he's like, I have a huge dong at gmail.com.
I've definitely signed some people up like that when I was doing credit cards in stores.
Well, we talked about it when you were talking about doing your phone scam job. where you'd ring fake numbers and fake names.
Yeah. Fake names, and
And
I
had Bob the
had some
Builder.
really good ones. Yeah, and Bob Marley as well was one of them that we had that day. We had I had one that was just like Pussy as well. That was
Yeah.
was good. First name Pussy, last name Pussy. You know.
Oh, fucking
And then, you know what? I brought it up in a team meeting. I'm like, hey, what do we do about these like clearly fake entries? They're like, you call the number anyway. And like the numbers were always like 040000.
Nana answers it, and you're like, is that Pussy?
Or
Excuse me?
0420 420 696 or something like that. I'm like, clearly these aren't real. They're like, oh, you have to call them anyway. I'm like, all right then, I guess
You know
so.
You know what I used to do? I don't know what everyone's knowledge, whoever's listening, of Martin Place in Sydney, but Martin Place in Sydney is usually like filled with people that are like kind of get you to stop eating the dolphins and stuff like that. Why don't I go eating the dolphins? Of all things to say,
Charity
like
I mean,
those
don't
sort
eat the
of people, right?
dolphins. That goes without saying.
I would during work through the city. Occasionally, I'd have to walk between like some of our venues. Right, I would like depending on my day, how busy I was, I would often get stopped by them. Sometimes I have a bit of a chin wag. Sometimes I'd just move on by my day. Sorry guys, can't do it today, sort of thing. But I went through a point in time where I was giving them the numbers of my friends, and then I would like.
Is that why I was getting phone calls?
Like I would give them numbers of my friends, and then like I'd just see like on Twitter or something, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, wait, why am I getting calls from like this Greenpeace sort of thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that was me, mate. That was me." But yeah, I'm a dick.
I went down the path of being rude to people to stop them talking to me, and I found that's not really that effective. Now I just wave them away, and that seems to work. Just nah.
Yeah.
Don't even talk to me.
Walk.
Kind
Don't
of
even
goes
talk to
But
them.
at the moment, my walk to the supermarket, which is like 150 meters, mind you,
There's
there's three of them. And I fucking hate it. Sometimes it's 4 if the gyms come out, because if the gym's quiet, they walk out the front, try and get you to go inside. And I walk past it and I just wave at them every time. And they see me every fucking day. Should know not to talk to me. But anyway, one of the guys goes, I waved him away and he goes, all right, but every man with a powerful beard has talked to me today. I'm like, what?
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
See, okay. The other thing too is Vince can contest to this. This
Oh,
like
now I'm vouching for you, huh?
these sort of people don't really exist in Western Sydney because 9 out of 10 they're just like they're gonna get abused or something like that. Like they just don't happen around here because people know they're not gonna buy into their shit.
Yeah. Well, we're like I'm not high class, but medium to high class sort of area. So like, there's a lot of bored housewives that would love to stop and have a chat about eating the dolphins, you know. So it's like, but seriously, half the time I'm just like, don't talk to me, and this actually makes me not want to come shop here anymore because I don't want to have to deal with your shit every day.
Yeah.
This kind of goes hand in hand as well with what we talked about before the podcast, just for people listening. When you go into a shop and like the shop assistants are basically constantly at you, so you don't feel like shopping there anymore.
Yeah.
And like the charity muggers and those people are all in the same category to me. Now, my biggest deterrent at the moment is just putting on the biggest pair of headphones that I have and just walking past them because they don't want to talk to me so much, except they are pink cat ear headphones. So some people try to use that as a way to lure me over, being like, I like your headphones.
Yeah, I like my beard. That's what they yell
I
at me.
can't hear you.
See, my problem is I've got my EPOS fucking earbuds, and they're yelling at me, and I can't hear them, so it's extra rude because to everyone around me, they're yelling at me, and I'm just ignoring them. So I have to take my earbuds out and say fuck off, and then put them back in. So I'm rude either way. So you know, whatever. I just can't deal with it. I can't stand pushy anything. It's like, leave me alone. Particularly when it's like I just want to go get food. You know,
Why not save the dolphins on the way, bro?
Well, that's the thing, all right? Okay,
yeah,
so here's the
because
thing.
you're gonna fish them out of the ocean and be like, you're all right now. You don't do that
Like,
on the
one
way.
of
You're
them-
just talking to someone.
One of them is Kids Undercover, which is a great charity, which I've actually raised money for in the past through work and other things. And I understand it's a great charity. And then like they're asking for donations clearly, but at the moment I'm broke as fuck. All right, I've been going through some shit. I just moved house. The bills are there. I don't want to say, hey, I understand that you have homeless people that need money, but also I'm a homed person that needs money. So let's just not have this conversation.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've just come out of stand down for it feels like forever on stand down,
almost.
and my bank account was looking a little dry. And then I come back to work, full time salary and stuff like that. And then at the same time, like I'm still like financially catching up. Like it's not like I just have a wealth of money now. I can give you whatever I want. No, that's not how it works.
Like,
I've still got to feed myself at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I felt so bad last year that with streaming stuff because I always raise money for something each year, like pick a charity, one or two, and do it. Last year, I was just like, I can't do it. It's like I can't ask people that I know don't have jobs or have lost their jobs or going through shit times for money. And like I know I'm very close to people that watch my streams or play games with us, stuff like that. And I know that a lot of them are lost their jobs or struggling and you know, even mentally just struggling. I'm like, I don't want to ask them or put the weight of, you know, making them feel guilty for not contributing to a charity.
Yeah.
Like, it's just shit times for everyone. So
I just want to say the Kids Undercover campaign that's currently running in that shopping center is run by the same company that I was hired for and then quit.
Well, there you go. Stop calling me.
Yeah. Wow.
No, I'm not
Stop a show.
me. But every
Call
time I
Ruth
see them,
instead.
I'm just like, I know who you work for. That's like in my head. I think that, and I think about the training that they went through. And honestly, I feel like now, yes, those people are doing the job because they need the money. But
Yeah.
I feel like, man, you really are willing to sell your soul to the devil for a few bucks.
It's a bit like that. And
Well-
like this is
well,
the thing,
when-
like they're employed and paid, obviously. Like if you were employed and paid to call people and ask for money and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I get it, but also it's very easy to just donate money online to things now. We don't need to be heckled.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
well, when I was doing that for a job for like a week, and then I said, "Fuck that shit!" Like I got better things to do in my life. Where you just stand outside the shops and shit and try to raise money. They don't actually pay you, so you have to sign up as an independent contractor. I
That's
don't know how
right.
they all work, but when I did it, you got no pay. You weren't paid an hourly wage. You were only paid based off how many
That's what
raffle
most of them
tickets
are,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
you
it's
do.
most of them like that. Same with fly givers. I remember, going back a while ago, it would have been like 2013 or something. Actually, yeah, it was 2013. I just finished watching Linkin Park at the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, I think, like something like that. I can't remember where it
I think
was.
I was there.
But anyway, we're walking back. We're walking back to the hotel because taxis were fucked. There's one thing I hate in Melbourne, and that's taxis.
We have
Anyway.
Ubers now, so we're good.
Well, yeah, this is back before Uber was like a
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
So,
I'm just gonna grab my
Um,
food. I'll be back.
oh,
There
fuck,
it is.
guys,
Keep
okay.
talking, I'm mute.
All right. So for anyone that wasn't, no one would know, but I called that he would leave mid fucking podcast to go get food. He'll come back and probably complain that something's missing. 9 out of 10 sweet and sour sauce, and then he'll complain about his meal for the rest of the podcast. So just so everyone's aware of what's going to happen for
Yeah,
the next.
and it was well
half
aware
an hour,
when we were going to
45
record
minutes.
the podcast. He gets plenty of notice, but that's fine. You know, whatever.
Yeah, you know it is. Anyway, what was my story? Oh yeah, so walking back from that, there's the people that hand out flyers, right?
Yeah.
And one of the girls I was with, Haley, she's awesome girl, right? She lives up in Brisbane. She was like, I know those people like only get paid if they hand out all their flyers. So she literally took the entire bunch, and I'm talking like there was like, like a ream of A4 paper. Like that's how
Yeah.
much there was. She took the entire thing and said, you can go home now, and walked all the way home, put him in the bin at the apartment. So then, because otherwise people just put him in the bin like nearby.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
we put him in the bin at the apartment so that the girl got paid. I'm like, you're awesome. I like you. But yeah, no, it's kind of,
Yeah,
the
that-
whole pay per commission sort of stuff.
I hate
It
it.
never really sits well with me.
Nah,
So I know
don't
that
like it.
those the Kids Undercover ones are getting a proper wage, but I have only ever fallen prey to these like charity muggers. One time I was very hungover, and it was the door knocking kind. So they came to me, and this guy knocks on my door, and I'm living in Sydney at the time.
Wait, were
and
you
I-
home
I-
drunk?
You
And
live
they
in
knocked on
Sydney?
your door?
I did. I was incredibly hungover to the point where I was probably still just drunk.
Right.
And he knocked on my door at like 9 a.m. Anyway, so this guy rocks up my door. I open the door, and he's like my type. He was like really attractive to me.
Ooh.
And-
Whoa.
And he's like
Whoa.
talking. He's like talking about it. I'm like leaning against the door, just like nodding in like a daze of like, yeah, I'm listening. And then I just like handed him my card. I'm like, here you go. And he
Wow.
just put in the details.
Jeez.
But I'm also really forgetful, so I kept forgetting to take my name off of like their donating program. And like 16 months later, I finally stopped paying the
Oh
money.
my God,
Yeah,
Shelby.
Jeez.
God damn it.
I mean, he was hot though, but like,
Speaking of hot people who work at places, I once picked up a chick who worked in Macca's in the drive-thru.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks for that, bro.
That's a weird flex.
The other thing he also picks up quite regularly at his day-to-day job is single mothers.
Actually, yeah. Yeah,
What
that's
is there a
fine.
new one that I don't know about or something like that?
Are you looking for a
Well,
kid?
there-
Is that what's
There
going on?
almost was, but lucky I realized
What?
she was fucking 42.
It's all right, mate. Age is
Are
just a
you
number. If you're in
38?
love, go for it, buddy.
No, I'm not 38. Fucking Alani's 38. You're getting us confused.
Wait, you
Alani, you want a son?
get
What?
extreme.
Do you want a son?
You get
No, I'm
extremely
good.
defensive, mate. Jeez.
Yeah,
Just
what's
take
going
the
on?
poor girl out on a date, all right?
Mate, you brought this
Bro,
up.
she's fucking the same age as my mum, bro.
Yeah, just
Perfect,
take her
they'll
on a
hang out,
date, all
they'll
right?
be-
Make sure she's got a babysitter. Take her out for the night, all right? Treat her.
Like the last one, I was supposed to have a babysitter when I fucking got
Hang on,
my auntie's
hang on.
Range Rover.
Let's go back and let's get some context here because you're already talking about multiple women that need babysitters for their kids in a Land Rover or something.
I wasn't joking when I said there was multiple single mothers that he's like been hit on at work with. It's almost a weekly thing at one point.
So it's,
Bro, they
it's
actually hit on me as well. It's fucked.
and then what happened?
Bro, one of
He
them
gets their
was-
numbers and then he stalks Instagram and realizes they have a kid and then realizes they're like twice his age and he's like, oh, what do I do? And I'm like, well, you go out with them, be
Yeah,
nice, be
I
a
reckon you'd
gentleman.
make a good dad.
I
Yeah.
think I'll be a fucking mad dad. Pez, what about that cracker one from Leica? She was so hot. She was actually the hottest thing ever.
Actually, is that the one with the kid with the blue eyes?
Yeah, the kid with
Yeah,
the
I
blue
remember
eyes.
that one.
She
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fucking hot, bro.
Yeah,
What happened?
yeah.
I'll tell you what happened. Actually, I can't tell you what happened because
What?
but I'll give you a rundown of what happened.
Yeah, come on.
I can't tell you what happened, but I'll give you a rundown. It's essentially the same thing.
I can't go into too much detail because you'll definitely get banned off being able to make any podcast.
All right, then just like what do they call it?
short,
Just
long story short, her excuse was she couldn't find the babysitter to come and hang out after I borrowed my auntie's Range Rover. Then my dad's mate came down to my house with an Audi RS4, and I said, "Hey, bro, can I borrow your car? I'm going over chick." And he goes, "Yeah." So I had a fucking $270,000 Audi to pick her up in, and she didn't end up coming. Couldn't find it, but
that's
Just
wasn't-
Western Sydney things, by the way.
that doesn't.
that
make
wasn't her excuse. But like that was her excuse.
So
but that
you
wasn't the
dumbed it
reason why.
down. The only details we got is what fucking car you drove.
What? You want to know what she was saying to me?
Didn't it have something to do with the father?
Nah, not.
Or was that not that one? Sorry,
it's another
there's
one.
been too many. I get confused.
I'm confused.
That's the one that wanted to bash me.
That's
That was just
Again,
the-
that's
You try to take
that
his
was
kid.
another-
just another one. Yeah.
That
So
was
they're all
another
blurred
one.
to me. They all pretty much end up the same sort of path.
That's I don't even know. I don't
Yeah,
even
the
know.
one with the dad had 3 kids. That was the drama.
What?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
had 3 kids.
yeah. This, and you're hearing this now, and you're like, "What?" See, I hear this story. I'm like, "Oh, again?" I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, like,
It's just-
again. But,
It's just a Thursday for you, isn't it? Jeez.
oh man, I struggle to understand, but I get what you're saying. It's like this is a regular occurrence thing. I don't
I
know.
can't
Is it a
help it.
deal breaker for you if they have kids?
I don't give a shit, bro. If she's hot, she's hot. But like, goddamn, like I can't help it, bro. It's not my fault. I'm a fucking handsome guy and I'm smooth with words. Like,
then
Oh yeah,
why-
like those words just then. You
Yeah,
just kind of
listen,
stumbled out of your
I
mouth.
got fucking chips. I got Hey, by the way, half my chips are missing. You fucking curse, bro.
Wow,
You put a curse
Yeah,
on me.
okay.
you called
Alright.
it.
I
You
got
called
chips
it.
in my mouth.
20 years,
Bro,
mate. Told you.
Here he is
I'm a smooth
complaining.
criminal, bro.
Yeah, I bet you he's wearing underwear that doesn't have the right day on it.
Fuck off, cunt. I'm wearing my boxes today. It's my
Okay.
day off.
All
It's my
right.
day off. I'm having fun.
Hang on. You've got days on your underwear.
Yeah, at one stage he was wearing like Monday underwear on Saturdays and stuff like that.
Right, you
That's,
can't
that's
do
where he's
that.
at.
That's like
Yeah, I know.
that's
It
bad juju.
fucking pisses
Can't
me
do
off.
that.
Bro, every day's a Saturday in my head.
Then do you only have
Between
Saturday
that-
underwear?
Nah, I'm wearing boxes. I told you.
What day is boxes? Boxing Day?
No fucking checkers, bro. You want to see them? They're like
Oh,
checkered. They're striped and like they're from Kmart, bro. They're striped and checkers. They're blue
Do,
and
do
white.
the single mums like?
Good question, actually. I don't know. I don't know about the boxes.
So without like context and without giving too much detail, just broadly, what is the deal breaker then? Obviously,
What between
like
all of them in general?
so you say she's hot, you don't care if she's got a kid, but it didn't happen. What's the deal breaker? Just simple.
Honestly,
short.
most of the
Commitment.
time, nah, it's not commitment, bro. I've
Commitment.
wanted to miss it for a long time. It's not commitment. It's more not having to deal with unnecessary drama with the ex-husband type of.
Yeah,
like-
okay. So it's drama.
What happens
It's
if they're
baggage.
not married?
Sorry.
What happens if they're not married? It's just a baby daddy.
Yeah, but still, bro, still got to deal with that
It's
headache
baggage,
of fucking.
yeah.
What happens if the baby daddy's in another country?
I ate a good stay that don't come back, bro. Fucking
What if the
COVID.
baby daddy is dead and it's just her with a child?
Wow.
Okay, she
Yeah,
went
well,
deep. She
yeah,
went really
that's-
deep. I wasn't willing to go there.
Yeah.
She went straight for the death card.
What if though? What if it's just a person with the baby?
look, if he's alive and he's Lebo and he lives in Western Sydney, then I'm staying away.
That's true.
all I gotta say.
I am, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but
It's a death wish for him, not for
I'll
me.
roll the
but-
dice. I'll have a go.
Tough
Do
talk.
it, bro. I'll give you 7 numbers right now from a month ago.
Wow, it's paid out.
I'm more curious as to whether you think like the kid itself is baggage. Would you
No,
want to be?
that's what we're talking about. So the deal breaker is not the kid; it's the
No, it's not
drama.
the kid. I don't care about the kid. Yeah, it's the drama. That's
You
gonna
don't
come,
care.
You don't care about the kid. Oh wow.
like-
Okay, poor
No, no.
kid.
Yeah, like I care.
You're just
about
gonna
the
swoop
kid,
the
bro.
mother off her feet and be like, "Sorry, bro, she's my mother now," sort of thing, because she's older than you as well.
Wait,
like, yeah.
isn't there one of
Yeah.
your TikToks you beating up a kid?
I told him to
you, bro.
post that. I told him to
Yeah,
post
he
that.
did.
That's
He
the
did,
kind of
actually.
influence I am. I
Illegal
saw
rape,
it.
That is a
He-
joke.
He messaged it to me. I'm like, that is TikTok worthy, bro.
Hey, the reason I'm TikTok famous is because of Pez.
Yeah,
I'm
realised.
look, I'm.
You're
I
his
just see
manager.
Content,
Yeah,
see
he's-
content, mate, and I've
No,
promoted it.
true. Because what happened was he was the one who's like, "Oh, I want to buy a new watch." So I'm like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you're gonna buy a watch for wedding? 80. I'm gonna buy a fake fucking Rolex and one up you." So I actually got the Rolex because he bought a fucking $5,000
Wait, it's
take
fake?
watch. Of course, it's fake.
Of course, it's fake. Everything in his life is fake.
Bro, the
He wears
only
Gucci
thing that's-
socks that are fake.
No, no,
He's
Gucci-
got
my
like
Gucci glasses are real.
Kmart slides and then colors in the Gucci stripes on it. That's the level of fake he's at.
Oh boy.
Hey, look. My Gucci fucking sunnies are real.
No one's
No
talking
cap.
about your sunnies.
No, I'm saying that's the only real thing I have that's designer. Everything else is fucking fake. Bro,
See, I'm rolling around in Ray-Bans. I'm rolling around in tag watches. Old mate's just buying fucking Gucci fakes of everything.
Fucking $5,000 watch. This guy, bro. I can read the time on the $5 watch the same way you read it on your $5,000 watch.
Yeah, but
but you're telling people it's a real one.
Yeah, for the fucking fame, brother. You got to get famous somehow. You have to.
at
flex
least
on
it's
it,
not
man.
like Jacko in Melbourne where he bought that $500 like
The
gold watch. That
$600
just,
watch. I
oh, it
hated
just
that
looks
watch.
terrible.
Bro, let me tell you how that happened.
That was
Well-
less. That was like that. That watch was more Lebo than the things you wear.
We walked into Culture Kings and he saw this fucking Versace lookalike shirt like Jacko wore. And then we started with the voice, brother, I'm gonna get this. Nah, brother, get this. Nah, get this. We just started the whole time in that voice. We're talking to the checkout lady, the checkout girl in that voice, like just running about. Then he saw this watch and he goes, bro, I'm getting this watch. Kind of $600. How much do you have for the holiday? He looks, he goes, oh, I got 800. I'm like, yeah, don't get it. He goes, no, give it 2 minutes. He sent a message off. He's waiting. Boom. He gets a message and then a notification. He goes, perfect. My mum just sent me $100. I'm buying it. He bought the fucking watch.
What the heck?
Bro, I ate him that watch.
I think the most
Yeah.
I've ever spent on a watch is like $20 from Kmart, and I never wore it.
Yeah, I unfortunately have very expensive taste now.
He bought one watch. He's a big boy now.
Yeah, I
10K
wouldn't say big
watches.
boy, but like I just like the people that were influencing me. Like I used to be like, I'd say prior to my past relationship, I used to be like, cotton on shirts for $20 specials, this, that sort of thing. Now, like, I don't look at shirts unless they've got like Tommy like brand on it, and then like the boys at work have got me into watches. I'm like, okay, I'll just get one nice watch for my mate's wedding that just passed. In like, I have a thing where I'm going to, for things like very important to me, like for example, this was my best mate's wedding, and I was part of the groomsmen.
Yep.
I'm going to buy something very expensive to like, kind of
For yourself,
for me to like celebrate that thing, like as a memory sort of thing. So
Yeah,
that watch I bought reminds me of that wedding sort of thing, right? And I bought the watch, and then I didn't realize what culture I was diving into,
Yeah.
and then every day I look at watches on the train. Like that's where I'm at now. I'm on watch groups. I'm like like the mums that like have Kmart groups on Facebook. I'm like that with watches.
Well,
No.
there's definitely you're right. It's a culture thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with shoes. I
Yep.
bought a pair of Jordan,
Yeah.
the Jordans, sometime last year, July last year. I bought the white pair, and then I bought the Chicago toe pair. The Chicago toe pair is like a pair that I've always idolized. So I bought those, and then every like Culture King sale, or every time I get a alert,
Yep.
new shoe release, I'm like, oh,
I
I don't really
definitely-
want to spend $300 on shoes,
I
but I
definitely
really need
looked into
to.
that market, and I was like, oh yeah, this stuff's sick. But my thing was like, it's particularly like when I moved to Melbourne and I got a job that actually pays decently, and was like getting my shit together. Basically, I'm like, I can afford things that are a little bit fancy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I got big ass feet. I'm a big boy. Half the shit didn't fit, or if it was fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm good.
I'm gifted. I'm a small person. Small
can have it
person gets
all.
all the I got everything, mate. You all want to go complain about? Oh, you're too short. Or can you like touch a 6 foot thing? Yeah, nah, fuck you. At least I fit in like
Bro, he'll
normal
fit
shoe
into
sizes.
anything, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Bro, he got roasted in the wedding speech about how he's got the body of a 12-year-old and can fit into any suit that's on display.
Oh, that wedding speech was something else. Oh, mate, like.
You're talking about fucking chugging Jägermeister from someone else's
No,
belly
you got to
button?
give context, right? So both the husband and the bride, groom and bride were husband
It's
and
the
bride.
same thing anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, same thing.
like it's a husband and husband.
They're Greek, right? And they got obviously a lot of Greek family, like very traditional Greek family and everything, right? Best man is what's Joey's like Kiwi or something like that, right?
Half Kiwi.
Yeah. His best man speech, first of all, was roasting me, saying I can fit into a size 12 right off the rack, which honestly is kind of true. I'm not going to lie.
Also the body of a 12-year-old.
And the body of a 12-year-old, so that's also kind of true. But, anyway, moving on. But then he went on to talk about bromance stuff and chugging Jaeger out of the groom's belly button on a trip at Surfers Paradise, and the look of shock across all these older faces is something I've never seen before, and I was terrified. I'm like, this poor bloke is gonna get like a shoe to the back of the head like really soon. But surprisingly, he got through the speech, and
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, it was like one of those moments was like, oh, is he going too far? Like it wasn't like overall like it could have been worse. Let's be real, it could have been worse, but it was kind of tame, and even the tame side of things, it was a bit full on for the older generations. I'm like, say this at a wedding with like no one above the age of 50, you'd probably get away with it, but mate.
And on top of that, it was like a COVID restriction wedding, so it was literally only close family members. There wasn't a lot of friends there. There wasn't a lot of young'uns because they got the old school families, and a lot of them are the older people.
We pretty much, that's kind of how close it was. We pretty much knew almost everyone in that room.
Yeah, and that's always a bit dangerous, particularly when there's they don't necessarily know everything. What's the incident like Bucks weekend, or was it just like a standard weekend?
That was a standard, that one actually.
Oh, boy.
The Jaeger one?
Yeah,
that was a standard.
That was a standard Surfers Paradise trip back in our younger days, mate. that was just happening on regular nights. Like it was like, what can we do a shot out of? Oh, fuck it, we'll do it out of your fucking belly button. Yeah. I've got a photo or a video of it somewhere.
You guys deserve the looks of judgment then. That's simple.
Mate. Oh,
I wasn't there.
Again, like, okay, so like to give you guys a little bit of perspective, this is the PG version, of course, because, again, I'm going back to the thing where you want your podcast to stay on the air sort of thing.
Sure.
Like some of the things we used to do, all right, so we didn't purposely do this, but we accidentally set off the fire alarm for the entire Surfers Paradise
I don't
area.
think that was an accident.
No, it was an accident for podcast reasons.
Yeah, it was an accident. We're going to keep it there. There's a story behind that, but it's an quote-unquote accident. And then we also would always swim in the fountain outside Hilton Surfers. We would swim in the fountain and then get kicked out by security and stuff like that. I remember one night we threw a whole chicken off the balcony.
Bro.
Yeah, so just
I think it was
just
raw.
standard sort of things like young dumb sort of shit.
Yeah.
Now and then we went up recently. We were like, oh, we're too old for this shit, man. Like even just going because we used to go club every night. Like we were there for 2 weeks. Every night it was club, and you slamming Jaegers and whatever. And like we did that. What, Vince? We weren't maybe first night we went up there club.
One night
went up the club. I think Steve was sick from memory.
that
And then everyone's
cost a lot.
like, yeah, no, we're too old for this, aren't we? And then I think we went the last night or the night before or something like that. So
Yeah. It's I haven't tested it, but I don't reckon I could go as hard as I used to.
if anyone has my Snapchat, I got fucking wasted the other week at my mate's.
Yeah, but how'd you pull up? That's the difference.
Oh,
right?
I was fucking cooked, right? So it was one of my best mates at work. I worked with him side by side for like 3 years at one particular venue, and we all went out for drinks. So I'm just thinking beers, like it's meant to be a quiet night. It's a quiet farewell drink sort of thing. And then I just out of nowhere had a flame lit inside me or something like that. And I've just gone, I start like, mind you, bar, art house hotel in Sydney, like it's pretty packed. The mood's mellow because there was no bands or anything. I don't think bands were allowed to perform back then yet or not. I can't remember. But it was a mellow night. And I just start yelling, shots. And eventually one of the other girls was like, oh yeah, let's do shots. So she gets the first round of shots. What are we having? Jaeger. Get everyone a Jaeger shot. Cool. I'm like, that went well. Shots. Second round, did I buy that round? I can't remember if I bought that round. I don't think I bought that one. Another round of Jaeger shots. I'm like, yeah. One of the person didn't have it, so I double shot Jaeger. I'm going. I'm like, yeah, this is the greatest time of my life.
Racing to the finish.
I'm like, shots. And they're like, okay, I'll get them this time. I get up there and I'm like, I don't really want Jaeger again. I love Jaeger, but I want to like really fuck them up. Sambuca.
Yep.
I get Sambuca.
Yep.
I give it on Sambuca. Again, no, everyone had that round. So I removed one shot from that round. Shots again. Went back to Jaeger. Got everyone a Jaeger. One person didn't have, so I had the second Jaeger. And then last round, my friend got the shot round. Again, Jaeger. So it was like, 4, 5 Jaegers rounds or something like that, and one Sambuca. And I had at least 2 or 3 of those rounds. I had a double shot, right? This is all in the space of about 45 minutes. I feel amazing. I feel so good. I'm leaving the art house. We're like, okay, let's go get some food. There's only a few of us left, right? We go get on the new light rail that goes down George Street. I'm sitting on the light rail and it just hits me. Hits me so fucking hard. It's like I got hit by the light rail. And I'm on this train like, oh, hello, how you doing? It's been a while. We get to the Chinatown part of the city, right? And I sit down. The place was called Super Bowl. I don't know how I remember these finer details, but I do. So the place was like Super Bowl. My Asian friends, they order all the food. They're in charge of that when we go out to these places, because for like most of the time the menu isn't in like English. Yeah. So that's like the first like, it's going to be good Asian food essentially. But they handle all that. So I'm there like half dead on the table with me little cup of like noodles and stuff like that with me chopsticks, feeding it. Like I'm laying sideways. I wish I could like show you guys. I'm laying sideways, feeding it into my mouth, trying to eat it. Because in my head, I know it's going to make me feel better. And I got to a point where everyone was having conversations and I just was not there. Yeah. I just was not there. And I'm like, I'm going to go, guys. And they're like, all right, see ya. So I leave. I just get up and leave. I don't even say goodbye to them. I just get up and fucking go. I walked to the train station. I walked to Central train station, which is, I catch a tram there, I think. I think I caught the tram or I walked. I can't remember. But I get there. I miss the train by 2 minutes. The next train is like 45 minutes away because it's that late. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I need to get home now. Like, I'm not going to last 45 minutes and then like sit on a train. So I called an Uber. I caught the Uber home. I don't remember any of the Uber trip. He could have took me to fucking Toowoomba and back, and I would not have known. I got home. I fall up the stairs. I fall up the stairs. Wakes up pretty much the entire house. My dog is going ballistic. I get into bed, fully clothed, go to bed. I was fucked the next day. And I had something on the next day, and I can't remember what it was, but I was not in a good place to do whatever I was doing.
Did you have a trial game?
No, it wouldn't have been a trial game. If it was, I definitely wouldn't have drunk that hard, or I would have pulled out. But I had to be somewhere. And
I think you're looking at houses then.
Yes, that's right. Open house at fucking like 10 o'clock the next day. I really shouldn't have been driving that morning. So yeah, that was the last time. And then I think I had a couple of drinks since then, but I don't think I'll be hitting that level anytime soon.
I think maybe PAX was the last time that I got absolutely shit faced.
You weren't even that shit faced.
Wasn't even that shit faced. Yeah.
No.
But it's. You reminded me of a story. And it's quite a good one, and I just remembered it. It was a long time ago. It's basically when I first moved to Melbourne, and we had a roommate because we had a small apartment, but it was 2 bedrooms, and we had this roommate who was a friend from high school, and she's a bit weird. She was a band. She played tuba.
What? Hey, hold on. What's wrong with band people?
She played tuba.
Yeah, what's fucking wrong with tuba?
Okay, you go point to the normal tuba players. I'll wait.
I'm a fucking tuba player.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Fuck off. Anyway.
Oh, wait, how often did you use did they use the Bandcamp sort of? Yeah, I
All the
just feel
time.
like,
All the time.
I was about to say there's,
Yeah.
I was saying this to someone at work the other day.
All
like
her friends were Bandcamp friends. Every social
Yeah.
interaction was with the band.
Even if you don't go to Bandcamp, if you play like at some sort of like brass instrument or something like that, like you must do the Bandcamp reference.
But not
like,
only
there's
that. Not only that.
You can't not use it.
I don't want to say Bandcamp people, but we're going to call them Bandcamp people, right? They get fucking wild. Like they just go. They get.
I was
hammered.
upset I couldn't go to Bandcamp. I really wanted to go to Bandcamp.
So she was a little bit weird, but
I've been to camp.
she went out drinking and like out with the band or whatever, and it was normal. That's all normal, right? So I don't know. I stayed up playing fucking PlayStation or whatever, and went to bed, and then I woke up. And it was the buzzer, like for the front door. It was going like ham, like someone was mashing it. And then it stopped. And I'm like, that's weird. And I got up and look out the front. There's fucking 6 fire trucks out the front. I'm like, oh shit, the place is on fire. It has to be on fire. So I like, when I woke up, the missus at the time went up and I opened the door, and the stairwell's full of firemen and my housemate, who is so drunk. And then I'm like, what's going on here? And the fireman's like, does she live here? And I'm like, yeah. And then she just walks 2 steps in the door and just collapses on the ground. And I'm like, what's going on? And the fireman's like, she said that she was locked out of her house and there was no one in there and she couldn't get in. So we just broke through the front door and we're about to break into this apartment. I'm like, I've been home the whole time.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. The guys were like, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, they're like, well, see you later. Good luck with your front door or whatever. And I'm like, thanks. And then, like, the next morning when she woke up, because I picked her up and put her on her bed, and she woke up and walked out. First thing she said was, how'd I get home? And why was I wearing my shoes while I was asleep? I'm like, you were so drunk last night, you couldn't get into the house. You got firemen to break into the house because you haven't got your keys. She reaches into her pocket, pulls out her keys. She's like, I've got my keys. And I'm like, what do you remember? And like, we sat there, we talked through it. Apparently she came to the house, couldn't find her keys. So she just laid down in the grass out the front of the house and went to sleep. Woke up to the sound of a fire truck going past, followed the fire truck down to a house fire that was happening down at the end of the street where someone had lit the bins out the back of a house on fire. And then when the fire brigade saw her there, she's like, I can't get into my house, I don't have my keys. So they just offered to help her out and came and broke into my apartment.
Jeez. I think that's just a fireman going, fuck it, I forget to kick in a door, let's go.
Yeah, they had fucking axes and shit. They were ready. I'm like, oh god,
I've been watching SWAT guys, let me have it. Bang, door in.
Thank God they just fucking lifted the front door like up high enough to delatch it and just come in. And I'm like, but it was, she was so fucking drunk. And I back then I used to get drunk every Wednesday. I used to get drunk. I used to go down trivia with the work crew, which meant I couldn't call in sick the next day because they knew where I was.
Yeah, they know.
And I always remember the first time we went there because it's low level trivia. It's not proper stuff. It's just the guys at the bar make up questions. And like they had a sculling competition that was like question 10. And if you win that, you win a jug. So I was already drunk, won the sculling competition, got a jug. Then they got up to 20. Then we came equal first, which was the decider was a sculling competition, in which you win a drug. And I was just so wasted. And apparently I got home, took all the bread in the house and turned it into toast and put it back in the bread bags and put them in the cupboards and then passed out on the couch. And then I got up. I woke up, was so sick. My housemates like, you have to go to work because they know where you've been. I went to work, went to the toilet and fell asleep and woke up 4 hours later.
Oh, God.
It's just, yeah. But like, if I did that now, I reckon I'd be sick for a week because
that's what happens when you're 40, you know?
I'm not fucking
like
40.
That's like that, bro.
I know we talked about this with Frog. It was like you haven't had a true night out till you've woken up on a beach or something.
I've had. Vince, were you at that party where I went missing?
Yeah, someone always goes missing. I'm the guy who goes missing normally.
Yeah,
as well.
I went missing. Yeah. Like it was, I was fresh 18. I went missing at one of my good friends from school.
Is that with the van or the truck?
No, not that one.
Which one?
The Stacey's party. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if you're there.
I wasn't there. No, I thought you were talking about Haley's.
No. Let's not talk about that story. I went missing and I was calling my dad to pick me up because I was like, okay, so I got a bottle of Jack for my 18th birthday and I took it to this party and I was just going shot for shot with people And within the it's like history repeating itself.
See,
Going shot for shot, like in a small period of time, it hit me like a truck. Of course, I'm not the biggest of boys, so obviously it hits me real fucking hard. I somehow managed to stumble out of the party, walk down the street about 100, maybe 200 meters. I was found. I don't remember this, but the story's been told back to me was I was found in the long grass of the netball park, which is down the road, like it's grass netball park, right? I was found in the long grass, which obviously it needed to be cut and stuff like that, on the phone, watching my dad drive in his white Commodore, and like when he got to where I was laying in the ground, I just yelled out "stop," and he had to get out of the car, pick me up, put me in the car, and I came home and I had the spew buck and everything. It was one of those sort of nights. That was like that was my learning lesson when I was 18, that I wasn't invincible on alcohol.
So this is the thing that I'm thinking of right now, because I'm thinking that reminded me of a story where my youngest brother, being the youngest, no one gives a shit about the youngest child, right?
Yeah.
He got hammered out. He would have been 18, and his friends came and like pulled up at the front of the house, threw him out on the front lawn, and he was just like, he was vomiting, and you know, he's obviously had a huge night, and all he could say was frying pan. That's all he could say over and over again. And like that was a normal occurrence. And if that was myself, I would have got like 50 questions or something. I found out later that frying pan is a game where you pass a frying pan around and everyone pours a little bit, they're drinking it, and then it's like musical chairs and the last guy drinks it. It's a horrible game, by the way. Good way to get sick.
I want to play it.
But it's like I think my worst one, and I think we talked about it on the podcast, because in my hometown they banned Jaeger bombs because they
What? How dare they? How fucking
apparently they make you punchy, you know.
Tragedy.
They get you all piped up and drunk, and you go and have a punch.
Vodka's so much worse than that, bro.
Yeah, but he's talking about the bombing. So basically, for those unaware, like Vince, basically a Jaeger bomb, not just a Jaeger shot. The Jaeger bomb is basically you get a shot and you drop it into pretty much a full glass of Red Bull, and then you fucking skull the whole thing.
Yeah.
But that's literally the same as drinking a vodka Red Bull, but just
it is.
It is. This is
bad,
country
bro.
town logic we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I was out on that night, and because they were getting banned the next day, of course I did a fuck ton of them, right?
Oh, fucking oath.
And I was destroyed, and apparently I won't go into details because some other shit happened, but it's, you know, what I want to get taken off the air. But apparently, because I was in town, I was back visiting because it was my dad's 50th, I believe. And we were meant to get up early the next morning because we were surprising him with a hot air balloon ride or whatever. They woke me up at like 6 a.m. and I was still so drunk, passed out on the couch in the house. Apparently, all I could say was DUNK, which apparently is drunk. So I think my brother just came up and threw a bucket at me and said, okay.
Yeah, that's when you know you had a good night.
It was a wild night.
I retired from heavy drinking after a very bad night I had in 2017, which I think Pez knows about, when we got banned from the Shangri-La Hotel, me and my uncle, the one who couldn't open a fucking shampoo.
Yeah. I was, mind you, I was working at the hotel at the time.
Oh no.
Not at the time of the event, but like around, like I was at the, like I was I wasn't technically an employee for the hotel, but I was working at that hotel. Yeah. As part of my work, sort of thing. Yeah. But I heard about the story from both sides, his side and obviously the hotel
I've never
side.
heard the hotel side. What was the hotel side? Because I know the problem that they had was Prince Harry was at the Shangri-La at the time, and we caused a massive fucking scene because he was there, and then the cops had to come down and everything. But I never heard their side. I heard the security side, but
it's very much mine was very much the security side of things. It was much the same. Like it was because the Shangri-La.
What did you do?
I want to hear what they said, so we'll see if it's correct.
I don't recall the exact details. I don't exactly care enough about your stories to remember the exact details, but I vaguely remember that you're right about the. I think it was around the time the Royals were staying there. I think it was Harry was in town or something like that.
Yeah, Harry was here.
It was Harry or William, I can't remember. But they go into like a strict fucking like lockdown sort of thing, and any trouble, you're done. You're out of there.
Oh, so they just kicked him out because he was there.
Pretty much,
kicked us out, $20,000 fine, fucking potential court.
What'd you do?
got into a fight in the fucking level 36, the highest level in the fucking bathroom.
It's the bar. The level 36 is like their bar slash
Yeah, but okay.
prestige restaurant.
So you walked into a bathroom and then got kicked out.
No. So my thick uncle with 11 C's, someone ticked him off, and I kept telling my uncle to calm down. I'm like, bro, like relax. And then the guy started talking shit. I'm like, brother, shut your fucking mouth, idiot. Like I was having a go at the guy. And then my uncle goes, you know what, fuck you. He picked the guy up, he put him in the bathroom, and he just fucking bashed the shit out of him, bro. Bent him backwards in the sink, broke the sink, broke the mirror, everything.
Broke his pelvis. Yeah,
fucking 7 blokes trying to take my uncle apart off him, bro. No, take
what the hell?
I have like that hotel in particular. Whenever there's I got a story. That hotel in particular, whenever there's like a high profile guest, nuts. Like it just
it's fucking wild, bro.
Yeah,
like we rocked up and there was just Rolls Royces and Maseratis
because everyone goes there to try and rub shoulders with.
Like security clearance is like 10 times as high. I remember my first week on the job there, I had to mic the. If anyone doesn't know, miking is basically putting a lapel mic, which is like a clip-on mic, onto like people's shirts and blazers and stuff like that. I had to mic like the Prime Minister or President of Philippines or something like that. I was frisked 3 times by three separate people before I was actually able to like get near him, and then he had to like nod for me to approach. Like it was just. This is my first like week of the venue, like learning this sort of shit. And I'm like, cool, thanks guys, this is fun. And then like booty hole? Yeah, and then like I remember prior to that, when I was working at our base team, I had to go to the venue to drop something off that same venue, and they started locking down the venue while I was in the loading dock. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I need to leave. Like, I got fucking other venues to go to. I got like I wanted to get back to have lunch and watch like MASH or something on TV, because that's what it was back in the day there. So we got locked in the loading dock. They're like, oh yeah, it could be like 10, 15 minutes, just chill out. I'm like, yeah, fuck, well, what am I going to do? So I'm calling the head office and stuff. I'm like, hey, just heads up, I'm stuck in the dock, whatever. And they're like, yeah, cool, no worries. Yeah, not too much on the schedule. It won't be too bad. Next thing, walks in front of my van, fucking Eminem. Walks in front of my van, jumps into the
story.
Yeah, jumps into the. I can't remember if it was like black vans or like black. I think it was black vans, like you know them like higher vans sort of thing. Jumps in the black vans. As soon as he's in those black vans, the doors are gone. He's out of there. He was like the most, and I'm just sitting there driver's seat home my steering wheel going, what the fuck just happened?
So
like,
old mate
just walked in front of my,
getting out.
He just walked in front of my fucking car. Like, I'm like, oh, it's fucking Eminem. I'm gonna go see you on like Saturday or whatever it was.
I remember that.
I didn't have any time to kind of process it. But the funny thing is, like that shit like that. Once I moved into the actual like delivering the events and stuff like that, became the norm. Like seeing people like that, like, oh, it's just fucking Guy Sebastian doing another promo. You know what I mean? Like it's normal to see. Like I've pumped into. I bumped into Dave Grohl on the loading dock.
Oh.
Fuck, I'm testing my memory now. Here's the thing, right? I don't ever ask them in these particular circumstances. I'll never ask them for signatures. I'll never ask them for photos or anything like that. That night, like they're trying to be like they're purposely going through these secretive areas to stay away from that sort of shit. So I'm going to respect them and do that sort of. Where I know there's people that like run up to, hey, can I remember? But yeah, like just so many people I've met like that. That's just nuts. Like passing through. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey.
Yeah, but have you met Mr. Drifter and put him credit in his phone? That's the real question. Yeah,
Mr. Drifter.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
You haven't got that video for me, mate.
Good friend of mine. Yeah, fucking. He hasn't been coming around, bro. He came around about 2 weeks ago, but
good friend, he says.
We were very busy. So
I remember. I just had this thing. So most of you know, I no longer, thank God, but I used to be on the TV show The Block. And
you on The Block? Oh, hold on a damn second.
Yeah, I was on The Block for a few seasons.
What season? What seasons?
A lot, like 6 seasons. So,
okay, give me one season that you're in, or one episode I could just...
You just look, no, not now, okay? First of all, just relax.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a podcast,
yeah,
bro.
Just fucking relax, mate. You can ask for my autograph later, all right? So, first season, because it was in Sydney originally, right? And then Correct. They came down to Melbourne. And I remember they gave me a phone call and they said, hey, did you hear that The Block's coming to Melbourne? I'm like, yeah, I heard. And they're like, oh, we're sponsoring I'm like, cool, thinking like our brand is sponsoring it. Like, and it's 400 meters from your shop, so your shop's going to supply it. I'm like, oh, cool. And mind you, we just purchased this new shop, put me in place to like convert it, and it wasn't even the right brand. Like, it wasn't even the right color. And they're like, don't worry, we'll fix all that. You got 3 weeks. I'm like, sick, awesome. Good thing was that the people that were making the block were all very amateur as well. It was reality TV, right? So they don't need scripts or nothing. They send you a sound guy, a camera guy, and a producer, and then everything's on the fly.
Yeah.
So that's all cool. Anyway, towards the end of it, they go, hey, we're doing this thing. We call it's the open houses. Fans can come and check it out. Do you want to come down and represent your company? It'll be a couple of hours, probably 500 people. What do you reckon? I'm like, sure, why not? I'll come down. We'll hand out some vouchers or something. It'll be sick. I get there 2 hours early, mind you, and there was already 5,000 people there.
Oh, shit.
Not only was there 5,000 people there, you couldn't get near the place because they didn't plan for 5,000 people. They planned for 500 people. So, like, they had enough crowd control for 500 people, and then it was just a mob.
Right. So that's event planning in a nutshell.
Yeah, so it blew out to 35,000 people. By the time the event was meant to start, they'd shut down the street, and they had people going around there, whatever. They had 2 security guards, and that's it. And I'm like, so I'm a big bloke, so they're just sort of like, hey, can you watch this thing? Because people will line up here, go in the house, they snake through all 4 houses, and they come out and they leave. My job was to, when they leave, give them a voucher and tell them to fuck off, basically. So it's all fine. We're managing. It's blown out from being 2 hours to about 8 hours at this point. Fucking there's mounted police coming trying to control the crowd and stuff. It's totally not planned correctly. Anyway, there's this grown-ass man who comes up and he starts like trying to come in the exit. Saying, "No, man, you got to leave. There's a lot of people here. You know, everyone's had their turn, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "No, I didn't get to see," I can't remember the contestant's name. I think it was Josh or something like that. "No, I haven't seen Josh." I'm like, "It's probably trying to eat, man. We're only meant to do this for 2 hours. It's been 8 hours. Someone was sneaking off getting some food. It's, you know."
Yeah.
And he goes, "But he has to autograph my book." And then he shows me, and he's got this handmade autograph book. It's got all these cardboard, it's got all the cutouts from all the magazines in it, and some glitter, and some This bloke would have been like 45, 50 years old, and he did not have kids or anything with him. It was just a bloke.
Yeah.
And anyway, he starts getting handsy with me to like push his way in. I'm like, "Hey man, hey, back off. Yeah, it's not happening." And he's like, and then he starts like screaming. He's like, "I need to get this autograph. Do you not understand?" And I'm like, "Fuck you, man. This is a reality TV show. All right? This means nothing. You're a crazy person." I'm like, "Leave or I'll call the cops."
Yeah.
That was the point where I realized that like the way that I perceive the media and like what shows are and stuff like that is not necessarily the way that like the greater, because like I was on the show, I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know? And like we got like media stuff, and people, there'd be between 1.5 and 2.5 million people would watch the show, which is like, that's crazy numbers, right? And some other stuff we can talk about in a sec. But I would never, ever watch a show to the point where I would make an autograph book and go and like get handsy with a stranger to go and get an autograph from a reality TV star. Like even like I've met B-list celebrities and A-list celebrities even. Like I met Daniel Radcliffe, for example. I just said, "Hey man, that's it. Like I don't want to make a big deal. I'm not going to make an autograph book or be some kind of freak, but they must deal with that shit all the time."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that was just a reality TV star. It's like an F grade star, and they've got this crazy bloke there. And like you said, if imagine what Eminem or Dave Grohl have to put up with.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to be the guy that adds to that madness.
I mean, you say that, but like, let's also remember that there is a guy out there with like a fan page about you. On
well, that's
Flickr
what I wanted
with,
to say.
Screenshots of you.
I'm Z grade celebrity, and I got stalkers from being on the block.
Oh, let's not talk about stalkers.
And
there was a man who basically has a Flickr page filled with screenshots of him.
Yeah, let's not say too much.
Gushing about your smile and blah.
Oh, that's cute. You do have a nice
Do you know
smile.
what's awkward? Do you know what's awkward though? I hired a new guy at work, and he said, "I couldn't find your website, but I found this Flickr page instead." He's like, "I couldn't find your workplace. I couldn't find where you were to come to this job interview, but I found this."
Couldn't find your LinkedIn profile, but I found your OnlyFans. It's good work. Good
This
content
guy,
you're putting up there.
he was a bit of a bear, and he had a bit of an OnlyFans thing going.
Fuck it. I'll have a bit of bloke on bloke.
He was definitely keen for some bloke on bloke. I had some. I like, you talk about getting mic'd up. I was mic'd up every day at work in case the block came in.
Yeah, okay, that's fun.
So I know all about it. Most of the time,
How awkward are toilet breaks when you're mic'd
I was
up?
going to say the same thing. The amount of times that I'll be like in the toilet, I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I know you can hear everything that's going. But
have you ever done like a stage show and like been mic'd up for stage work?
Yep.
So I've
done
done
it multiple times.
quite a few musicals, and there's always that one person who forgets to turn off their mic when they go backstage and go to the toilet.
Oh yeah, in the events industry, that's the norm. Like, there's always one person. For us, we're meant to like kind of. For most belt packs, there's like the models we use. There's like a power lock option, so you can't turn it off because they're worried that people are going to turn it off while they're on stage, and then we have to run up in there.
Yeah,
I trust my guys enough that I will allow them to turn off their shit and just check them before they go up on stage, because I don't want to be the one responsible for old mate going into the toilet and just hearing pissing sounds over the PA. Because 9 out of 10 we've got the mics live pretty much all the time. Because you never like, especially
TV, there's no option. Everything has to be live all the time.
Yeah, especially like if these people are sitting in a, like, for example, on a panel or something like that, or not even like even an audience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They might just jump up and say, "Hey, blah 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 blah," and you're like, fuck, your mic's muted or your power pack's off. Like, you need to be live pretty much the entire time. So
we got told everything's live all the time because it's reality TV. Who knows what's going to happen, right? And like to the point where the first few seasons, 3 or 4 seasons that we did in Melbourne, we actually built a studio at my workplace. Channel 9 did. And we did all of like the workshop scenes and challenges and stuff like that were all there. So like they could run in at any time with a camera. And like I got to know the producers and the sound guys and stuff like that and work with them. And like the sound guys, like, dude, it's so much better listening to your piss than having to get a boom mic out and swing it around. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm full of agreement to that as well.
But the thing was, right, and this is like I'm not 40, Vince, shut the fuck up. But like the older man speaking, right? It's like I had a choice a long time ago where I'm like, am I going to go into like film and media because that's what I want to do, that's where my passion was, or am I going to stick with my stable hardware position in a hardware store and do that to pay the bills? And I chose the hardware position. And then fast forward 2 years later, and I'm working at Channel 9 and getting paid by Channel 9 because what we did on that show. It's reality TV, but it's all fake, obviously. Is that like they have a challenge, which the challenge episode's one night a week, 17 minutes plus ads, right? But we'd film from fucking 1 p.m. to midnight.
Yeah.
Right? The store closes at 5. So the store closes at 5, and then at 5 o'clock, I stop getting paid by my boss and start getting paid by Channel 9 to pretend the store's open.
Yeah.
and basically sit there going through the fucking the food van and getting all the fucking beers.
How good is catering, man? How good is catering?
Well, everyone knows Scott Cam, who's the host of the show, right?
Yeah.
Fucking part of his deal is he gets 2 slabs of VB and fucking a platter of food. And
what a fucking blow.
And he'd be like, he gets filmed for like 10 minutes, and the rest of it, he's just smoking darts and doing BB.
Old mate just rocks like a hanging going, guys, and then fucks off. Like, that's all he does.
And with the first season we filmed, it was so close to like where everyone was staying and everything. He'd just ride his bike, so he fucking hammered half the time, jumping his bike, and then bloody ride over. It was such a the curve of we started there, and then it got popular and got more popular and got more commercial, and you got sold. It's basically sold out, right?
Yeah.
To the point where there's so much politics involved that they can't really put me on the show because it needs to go, because I'm corporate these days, and it's like, it's not fair for the independents and all this. It's all politics and whatever. So, but those first few seasons, it was like, we're just making television so cheap and it's rating its ass off and everyone's getting rich, you know?
Yeah,
and like we paid, you know, it's a bit of a peek behind the curtains, but we paid $500,000 for the first sponsorship. And then our competitors came knocking. And then by 3 seasons later, we're paying $2.8 million.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like it's kind of one of those things where do you take the risk and invest in that sort of shit, and that paid out for him? Because I don't watch much of it these days. I remember very early seasons. I used to watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like just. Your company was plastered all over it.
Yeah.
Like it's just easy promo.
Yep. And like, you know, we hire people from the show and put them on the payroll as ambassadors and whatever else. And like, and it's not only that, reality TV shows in particular. So a lot of that crew, they'll work on like MasterChef and a couple other shows like that. And they were saying that when shit started getting tighter, particularly around like not necessarily COVID, but like leading into COVID when shit was kind of getting messed up anyway, they made more stationary cameras and gave like more of the contestants GoPros to film themselves, and they got rid of more humans that were actually working the cameras and doing all that sort of stuff and made it
cut calories. Easy.
Yeah, it just cut it all down. It's so cheap TV, and they don't have to write it, and it's not scripted and all that sort of stuff.
And the other thing too is obviously like for then, like the whole like back then, the whole like you're recording yourself sort of thing was the in at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't really like you can get away with it now. You know what I mean? Like
it's kind of
GoPros
weird
and that
now
sort of
because
stuff.
everyone does it.
Exactly right. But like back then, it was like the thing. Like, I can get my phone out and record myself talking to a phone and be like, "Hey guys, I'm kind of a bit tired. I just tiled the whole bathroom and I feel fucked up." Like they vlog themselves essentially, and that was like, "Yeah, this is awesome television."
And then you think
now
about it.
you look at it. Now you look at it, and you're like, "Yeah, nah, please
Anyone
don't
can
do that again."
Yeah, but so. All right, so I'll tell you the story. This is the main reason why I sort of stepped back from it and let other people do it. Right, it was late, mind you. Right, they asked to keep the store open, and my boss is like, "We're not doing it. You can hire the staff and they can do it if you want." And they literally asked me how much. They're like, "How much do we have to pay you an hour?" I'm like, $40 an hour. And they're like, "Okay, cool." I'm like, "Sweet, do nothing, get paid." So I was sitting, it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. They're having a quick break and filming. And I was talking to some of the contestants and we were eating pizza, whatever. And one of the contestants goes to me and she goes, "We were talking about you yesterday." I'm like, "Me?" Yeah. We're talking about you. We had a press conference and you were the topic. I'm like, "What have I done?" And she goes, "Oh, haven't you heard? You sabotaged the block." I'm like, "I didn't do anything at all." And they're like, "Yeah, no, you sabotaged the block. There's a rift now. Out of the 5 floors," it was the tower episode that season, they're like, "The bottom 2 won't talk to the top 3 because you fucked it up." I'm like, "You guys are messing with me, obviously," and didn't think anything more of it, right? Get a message like 6 months later, shows on the air and whatever else. And it's from my mother. And she's like, "I just read about you on TV Week." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, it says that you from this hardware store, you caused this thing called Rollergate. And now these contestants, and I'm like, "What is this?" And then then all the things started coming together because what they do with contestants, right, and particularly reality TV shows, they do things to make people angry and they cause drama, right? So they wake them up early, and then they tell them breakfast is coming at 7 a.m., but then they don't deliver it to them till 9 a.m. And then they make them always late or put pressure on them so they all get snappy, and it makes good drama, right? And then I realized that the producers were doing that to me, because they started asking me like leading questions about stuff like that. And what happened, right, was that one of the contestants came to the hardware store to pick up some paint rollers and stuff like that, because they all have to paint. That's part of the rule, is that you can get builders to do anything, but you have to paint the house. And so they're like, "Oh, so we're painting this room. Oh, and these contestants asked for us to get some rollers for them too, and they're painting these." And I'm like, "Excellent. So what you want to do for them is grab these rollers. That will do what they're doing, and then for what you're doing, you grab these rollers for the paint rollers, right?" Didn't think any more of it. And next day they came in, and then the producer's like, "Hey, when you sold those paint rollers, do you reckon that they deliberately asked for different paint rollers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they asked for different paint rollers. Why?" And then when you see it edited, they're like, "Staff member confirms that she asked for the different paint rollers." and not only that, they took stills from the episode and they put this whole like police frame around it, because some of the contestants were police. They're on the case, and they got a picture of me with the roller covers, and it was on Facebook, it was on Twitter, it was everywhere. And they're like, "This guy, he supports the case that they sabotaged him by getting different paint rollers." I'm like, "No fucking way is this a thing."
That's hilarious.
And it was so edited, and I could hear them, and I remember hearing them in the next dial, and they're like, "So, we just found out that they deliberately got the different paint rollers. How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel angry? Does that make you feel like they're, I don't know, sabotaging you some way? Does that remind you of that?" And then I'm like, fucking producers, hook, line, and sinker. They took us on this wild ride.
Yeah.
And I couldn't escape it. Everyone's like, "You're the Rollergate dude. You sabotaged the block." And for the rest of the season, those two teams wouldn't talk to each other, and they caused this rift where they wouldn't work with each other, wouldn't cooperate, and had alliances formed and stuff, all because I gave them the wrong fucking rollers. And I didn't give them the wrong rollers. She asked for the wrong rollers. I gave them to her. That's it. That's all it is. Simple fucking mistake.
I think how long's it been since that incident?
A while. It'd be like
Yeah, I think you're still trying to cover your tracks here, mate.
I still have.
I think you were
Yeah,
the
you
reason
fucking
why
did, bro.
you've given them
Fully
you knew exactly what you're putting getting like you wanted to shake
100%.
Australia, right? You wanted to shake Australia, and you're thinking, how can I do it? Fuck it, I'm gonna give them the wrong rollers, right? You've just caused a stir, and here you are, several years later, still trying to defend yourself, right?
You know what's
I see
worse?
through your shit.
You know what's worse than being on a show that's watched by millions of people is being on the ads. Because
That's it.
everyone sees it.
Yeah, everyone sees the ads. Yeah,
Everyone
will see
ads.
the ads more than the actual show.
I remember I was visiting my partner who was in hospital at the time, and I was in the elevator, and there was a guy there who was he was the chemist. I knew he was the chemist because I met him through like the hospital stuff. Anyway, he kept looking at me funny. He goes, "I know you from somewhere," and I go, "Yeah, we met yesterday." He goes, "Nah, not that." And then he's looking at me. He goes, "You're on TV." I'm like, "Fuck, I'm getting recognized now. This is bad." They're like, this is the guy from the ad. And so, to put it all in context and all perspective, all right, I said to myself, I'm never going to make it in film or television, and went the hardware route and ended up doing film and television.
Film and television, yeah.
For like,
it's always the way.
Like 6-7 years, you know?
It's always the way. Like,
I looked it up, and I see a clip, and it doesn't have a clip of you or anything in it, but they're going, I asked for this sort of roller, and he gave me this. And I'm like,
it's a real thing. I have the TV Week article somewhere still where they name me and where I work and said it's all my fault. We used to get people just walk in off the streets like, "Wow, is this the store off the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is a store you can shop at all the time, like normal people." Yeah. We've been here.
I know people like that where they're like they want to see what was on the TV. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be places like that like I don't know. There's
it was funny. It was great, and it created a lot of opportunities, and like it was great from a work perspective as well. But I'll never forget the best thing was we had these kids came in and they're like, "Hey, we want to take pictures in the store. Is that cool? We're doing a school thing for the block." And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. He's like, "Do you have any pictures of Scotty or anything like that we can do, Scotty Cam?" And I'm like, "I mean, Scotty's just here. He's just outside here right now. You want to talk to him? He's just having a dart out of the street." Kids lit up. They're like, "No way!" I'm like, Scotty's just a bloke. He's not.
Yeah, he's standing on the sidewalk, hammering a dart, throwing back a long neck.
Yeah, pretty much. And he came in and he just walked around with the kids for a bit, and they were amazed. And I'm like, "Is this cool to provide this sort of thing?" So
I love celebs like that. Like they're so down to earth and stuff like that. Like you hear so many good stories.
Oh my God, Shelby found
Chester was that one.
It's called the Roller Wars.
Oh God,
The Roller Wars.
It aired in 2013.
Yeah,
you're throwing it back. But yeah, no, I love celebs like that. Like they're very down to earth. They're always there for like the people. Like they've got like time of day for the people that they like care about. Like I know Chester was one of those people, like, for the Lincoln Park community. He was just, like, one of the most down-to-earth people that celebrities I've ever met. And that's not me favoriting him because they're my band, you know what I mean? But, like, he literally
he
was, like...
understood that the only reason where he was because of the people.
Yeah.
And he respected that.
Pretty much the band was like that, but Chester just took it to a new level. Like, he was... I vaguely remember one of the... the Linkin Park community has meet and greets, so essentially it's meeting the band and kind of getting signature and stuff like that. In the people beforehand, the people that run it essentially, this particular guy like Adam, I think there was a guy or a girl named Anna during the time that I went. But they're basically they give you the lowdown, like you're not allowed to like hug them, you're not allowed to ask for photos, you're not allowed to do any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
band comes out. You go to shake their hand, they're hugging you. Like, they're the ones that are, like, hugging you. And I'm like, fuck, okay, fucking oath, let's go. But, yeah, like, and the thing is, like, I obviously wasn't, I love those, like, the guys and stuff like that. And, like, they're a big inspiration for me. But at the same time, there's people that a hug for them made them, like, break down and cry because it meant so much to them. And they're like, I love that for people, like, being able to, like, see someone and, like, there's nothing like I know it happened a couple times in my past relationship. Like there was nothing that brought me more joy than seeing a person like so overwhelmed with happiness, like meeting someone, or like of like they're crying because they've met something, or crying because they witnessed something. Like me personally, I've cried to music. Like I've been standing in a mosh pit at Good Things Festival, and I was hugging my partner at the time, and I was bawling with tears because the song that was playing was just like so like
The moment type of thing.
yeah, it was like the emotion from the song and everything was like yelling at me and where I was at my life at that particular time. Like it was just after, actually it was like one of the first concerts I went to after my dad's death, and the lyrics was just hitting me in the chest, and I was bawling my fucking eyes out.
It definitely hits different when it's live.
Yeah,
as well.
And it's like even things like that. Just I love moments like that because that's how you know you're real. Like that's how you know you feel shit.
Yeah.
And seeing people in that situation when I'm with them, like if someone says I want to go watch, like I'm dying to go watch this, I know, artist or something like that, like they're my favorite thing I've ever seen, or I want to meet this person, like I'll fucking wait by the red carpet for you for the next 4 hours if you want, like if it means that much to you, because I want to see those people happy, and I love watching them in those situations. And same thing with like the kids were like, okay, it wasn't that level with Scotty Cam.
No, but it's good to see them.
If it was that level with Scotty Cam, like, mate, okay, all right, you don't have a Scotty.
There's definitely been cases where you see like celebrities or whatever, and they're just like, yeah, don't come fucking near them, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, hang on, some people travel from miles away, and I remember. It's maybe a bad example. Like I've seen a lot of bands and whatever else, and like Linkin Park's a great example where they are community focused, and they had programs set up so like if you wanted to be a fan and wanted to be a community, you could get involved and like network and stuff. And that was like there wasn't really many bands or people doing that, particularly.
Correct.
You know, they're one of the first. And I remember it was a comedy show. And we are running out of time, so we'll keep it short. But I went and saw Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. He's a funny bloke, and he came out, and I remember he came out and he said to everyone, said, you come for the show, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna tell you the old jokes. I'm gonna do the new jokes, and we'll just sort of see how it goes and whatever else. Anyway, it blew out. He went 3 hours overtime, telling stories, and it was amazing. He was just telling stories. It was great. But the thing that got me was that at the end. There's a thing, he's got like a bit of a meme, if you like, where he loves chocolate cake and people bring him chocolate cakes. And for this one show, which was sort of just before he blew up, this one show, they brought 37 chocolate cakes for this bloke. And he's like, guys, don't come up to the stage and put them on the stage. Give it to the ushers. They'll look after it. They'll make sure I get the cake, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm going to come out the front and we're going to do a meet and greet afterwards, blah, blah, blah. And we came out the front and everyone was there. Like, there was so many people there.
Yeah.
And I remember him yelling out, he's like, everyone just chill. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to see every one of yous, all right? You just fucking just chill. And that was there for like 4 more hours. Yeah. And he was chilling. And then he ended up going down the street to a bar with a group of them. And he was just like, just chatting and whatever. And he's just like fucking, because he said it. And part of his whole story was he's had a shit life. And that's why, and everyone finds it funny. And that's why he's a great comedian. But it's like, he's like, comedians are like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans. So I'm going to do whatever the hell you told me to do, basically. Yeah. And I'll never forget when he's just like, mate, everyone chill. I'm going to be here forever. I'm not going anywhere. Just line up, hang out, get a drink, whatever. We'll get through all this. And it was just such a great atmosphere. And I feel like there was a lot of people that traveled and whatever else, and they hold a whole heap more respect for someone when they make time for you and do it properly.
Yeah.
So
that's I love that about artists that recognize the fans and stuff. With that said, too, have I ever told you guys the full story about my Linkin Park experience?
What a story!
I haven't heard it.
About where you end up on stage with them?
Yeah, like the full, like that's the end. Thanks for ruining the ending.
Yeah, thanks. Wow. Yeah, good one.
Good one. A long story to there.
Yeah, like it's like, okay, so I'll keep it short because I know we're kind of running short on time.
Yeah.
So basically, if anyone knows me, I am Pez. I am a diehard Linkin Park fan. I have been following the band for a very long time. So basically, it was the second time I was gonna ever see them play. It was 2010. I didn't have tickets. I got so they have a charity called Music for Relief. I was volunteering for the charity before the actual show. in which I then received free tickets to attend the show. So basically, I'd go around handing out things. I'll be selling stuff at the Music for Relief store, that sort of stuff, right? Because I was going to that show in Newcastle, I applied to meet the band. So funny enough, I got to meet the band. I'm like, fucking if I get to meet my favorite band. I remember, I can't remember if it was that time or another time I was on the shitter when I found out, but whatever. But anyway, so I found out. I was super stoked. Actually, no, I was at work at the time. I remember I was working back at Roland. I was at work at the time. I got super stoked. I was fresh 18, loving life. Like, yeah, I'm about to meet my favorite band, So anyway, show day comes. We go up there. We're volunteering and stuff. I then get pulled away to go meet the band. Mind you, these meet and greet sort of things, they're for the fan base, essentially. You got to be like a part of it's called Linkin Park Underground. It's like a membership sort of thing, right? Normally for these things, they're like capped at 100 people, and they're normally always capped, right? I get to my one, there is 8 people.
What?
8 people at this meet and greet. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. They've got like half an hour to an hour set aside to like meet us, right? I'm like, okay, this is going to be more than just the handshake, sign my thing, move on sort of thing, right? So I was the last to go in line. I have I'm talking to you. I have a beer cap in my hand.
Yeah.
I put things in my hand when I'm fidgeting and stuff, and most of the time that's like guitar picks and stuff like that, right? So I had a guitar pick at the time, and I'm fiddling, and I think it was Mike. It might have been Mike. It was like, you play guitar? He's obviously noticed. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, do you know our stuff? I'm like, of course I fucking know your stuff. Well, that's a stupid question to ask a fan. And I said, I went smart ass. I'm like, yeah, I can play your stuff backwards. And I don't remember the exact way the conversation went, but eventually it kind of ended up with like a.
I remember how.
Tell me my story.
Go on.
Okay, so in a show in Europe, they had one kid.
Yes.
Play their track.
Yes. Yeah, so recently, previously, years ago, they had someone go up on stage. Like, they used to pull them up from the crowd, not like in a format. I'm like literally pull them out over the barrier, put a guitar on them, say, "Can you play this song?" And then they play it essentially.
Yeah.
And then recently they did that. Like, they did the same thing, pulled someone off the crowd, gave him the guitar. He played Crawling. I said, "Yeah, I can play your stuff backwards and stuff like that." I said, do I need to prove it like to those guys or something like that? Like something along those lines. And they basically called my bluff and said, yeah. And I'm like, what? And like, yeah. And I'm like, play faint? And like, yeah. And I'm like, can I play Mike's guitar? I'm more comfortable on Mike's guitar. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, fuck, okay. So then I'm like, this is just the first people in the line, and I've had a 5-minute chat, and I'm like, the rest of the band are waiting for me to walk through. So they're listening to the conversation I'm having with like Mike and Dave or something like that. So eventually, long story short, they were all like, yeah, fucking oath, come up. That night, Faint was like the 5th or 6th song in the set. So what they did was they had me in catering beforehand. So they had me backstage the entire time. The girl brought me and my brother. My brother was there. They brought us back. Once we did the volunteering thing, which, mind you, I didn't really do as much of because I was backstage most of the time. So I really got free tickets for a show, essentially, and a free T-shirt out of it. But I went backstage, sat at catering. They're like, eat whatever you want. So I'm fucking having dinner.
Yeah.
I'm chilling out. I'm drinking, I'm stuff. I'm on the phone. I'm like, I'm about to go on stage. Like, I'm calling people. I'm like, holy shit. Eventually, show goes on. They bring us around. I'm talking with the guitar tech. He's like, okay, cool. They're probably going to introduce you. They're going to go up. They're going to say, yeah, come up. Like, this is whatever his name is. And like, what's your name? And I'm like, Pez. That's what everyone knew me as back then. So like, Pez, da-da-da. So they call me up. I get up. I play the song. What they didn't expect, compared to if you watch any of the fan videos from way back before, you'll see a lot of kids get up on stage and kind of just stand there and play.
Yeah.
Like they're a little bit shell-shocked with stage fright. That doesn't exist for me. This persona, when I'm on stage is like, I'm myself, essentially. I'll jump around the stage, I'll do it. So like from the first guitar chords, I'm into it. I'm fucking going hard. I'm going hammer. I'm enjoying myself, most importantly. They're all like, fucking this is amazing. So eventually I get through the song. They are surprised because they forgot that the song in this particular tour had an outro which didn't exist when the other people used to do it back then. So I knew the outro, obviously. So I was good with everything, and they were surprised I got through it. Eventually they're like, yep, cool. Yeah, this is Pez. Well done. Da, 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 clap. Everyone claps. Yeah. They're like, oh, he's from Sydney, and they booed me a little bit, but it is what it is. So I get off the stage. I'm like thanking the guitar techs and everything. They put me back in the crowd. I'm then getting like swarmed for photos and stuff like that. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Eventually I get free merch as well. The girl got me a jumper, which no longer fits me because I was even tinier back then. So I got like free merch and stuff like that. But yeah, the essentially Newcastle trip home was just the entire trip home was my phone blowing up because I posted on Facebook like I just played, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, that actually happened!" Da, da, da.
That's just insane.
Yeah, and that was the Newcastle show.
That was the first time.
About a week or so later, they played another show in Sydney. I was front barrier. Nothing special happened to that show. The only thing that is like kind of memorable was the boys saw me in the front row because I was on barrier. And Chester came down during crawling and was like, you know how they like share the mic with you when you're singing. So I'm out of pitch because I can't sing crawling for the life of me, yelling crawling into the microphone. The one thing I remember most about that particular experience was like when he grabs your hand and he's singing the high notes, how much he squeezes those high notes when he's like holding someone's hand because he's just pumping his fucking vocal cords. But anyway, that was that show. They tried to throw a towel or drumsticks to me, but I was too short, so I couldn't catch it. You know, it's just a standard life story for me anyway. Moving on, it was like 4 days later or something. What it was the second Sydney show, but most importantly, before the show, they had what they call a Linkin Park Summit. So it was basically all the fan base from Australia are invited to attend this show, and you know, big fucking. They do venue, like they do tours. You walk up, you get to play the instruments on stage and stuff like that before the show. You get a full backstage tour and all like pretty much all that sort of stuff. And there was like question and answer and a private acoustic sort of a session, which is all on YouTube essentially.
Yeah.
So we went through that, and then part of that process right at the end is obviously meeting the band again. This time there is 100 people, so the chats are pretty straightforward. I obviously get to the front of the line. They remember, hey, you were fucking amazing. Da 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 da. I'm like, I'm cocky teenager now. Like I've just played on fucking stage with Linkin Park, and I'm like, fucking oath. I'm like, hey guys, you want to make this day special? This is my brother. He can play bass, and they're like, dude, you've had your go. Like, this is Mike. He's like, you've had your go. And then it's kind of clicked to me. I'm like, you know what? You're fucking right. I don't want to be greedy and stuff like that. Chester, on the other hand, yes, let's do it. So Chester's like, they're like, Mike's kind of like talking to Chester, who's sitting next to each other. And they're like, oh, come on. He's kind of done it, you know, before and stuff like that. Chester's like, nah, we're going to make this special. It's a fans day. It's all about the fans. Like, and they're like, okay, we'll talk about it. Right. So I go to the main photo. Like, we all had to go like wrap around and kind of pose and get ready for a photo.
Yeah.
And like after about 5 minutes of sitting waiting for that photo, Mike's like, hey, Pez, yeah, Chester's kind of really for it, so you and your brother can come up. And everyone starts cheering, and we're like, yeah, fucking oath, like, this is awesome. So this show, because this show Faint was in the encore, the entire show we spent backstage. So I'm sitting by the guitar side, which is stage left from memory. I think it was stage left. No, stage right. So I'm sitting stage right with the guitars. I'm watching all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
And they didn't brief me like they did before, right? So they didn't tell me that they weren't going to introduce me. And you'll see this in the video. If anyone wants to watch the video, it's on YouTube. Just type in Linkin Park Pez and it will be like the first thing that comes up. But no one told me they weren't going to introduce me. So if you're watching the video, you'll see that I'm still waiting for them to introduce me while the song starts. So the intro of the song starts playing. I'm still like offside stage, and Brad, the guitarist, like needs to do a guitar change. So you see him run over and he starts to panic because I'm obviously need to come up the stairs, and then his guitar's got to come up the stairs behind me, and he's got to swap in time for the first riff. So he's like hurrying me up. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm going then. All right. So I'm up the stairs. I'm straight on there, oblivious to, like, watching back, I know what he was doing, but oblivious to me at the time. I'm like, oh, he just wants me to come up. I'll fucking stroll up the stairs. I'm good. But yeah, then nail the song. There is like, actually, no, that particular time I nailed every single note. The time before I got one note wrong. And I'll always remember I got that one note wrong.
Messed it up.
Because if you look at the outro, you'll see Mike looks at me in particular and he's like very interested in what I'm playing. And that's because I fucked up the note the first time. I ended on like a D note instead of the C sharp or something like that, right? Yeah. So he basically he's watching me, and then once I hit it right, he obviously starts clapping me and goes, "Oh yeah, that's amazing." But yeah, so eventually I got to do a once in a lifetime. I like to say it, once in a lifetime experience twice. And then like after the show, because that was the encore, we were still backstage. Like the band would come over and said like, I remember Brad Delson came over to me and was basically like, he's like, I hope to one day see you up on that stage. And fuck, did I turn out to be a disappointment after that? Poor bloke. He's invested. He's
with me now.
Yeah, he's invested. He's like, he's basically invested. He's like, this guy's going to be a big musician. He'll be the next, I don't know, whoever was popular at the time, Justin Bieber or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, nah, mate, this is as good as you're going to get out of me. I'll do cover songs at the pub down the road for every Saturday, but you're not going to see me at Ace Arena on a fucking Saturday night. But yeah, so then what the funny thing is about that story is I have met so many people since then, so that's 10 years ago, since then, that were in that crowd. I've met like that just beforehand, absolutely no link to them. Like I've met people through work. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're fucking Pez that was up on." I'm like, "Yeah, you were at the show." There was people that, mind you, I only knew two people in the crowd at the time. Like I knew one of my good friends, Melissa, was there, and then another one from school. I can't remember who. But then there was like people that used to go to my school that were in the crowd that I didn't know, and then there's people I've met through work. It's fucking nuts. But yeah. That's pretty much the full story.
It's fucking epic. Is what
it's going to be like. And the amazing thing is, thankful for my now friend. I didn't really know him at the time, but my now friend Mike. He was recorded both those shows, so I forever have a footage that I hope to one day show my kids. You know, and like it's quite amazing to kind of see. You know. And considering where the band is now, like the unfortunate with Chester's passing and all that sort of stuff, I hold it a lot more, like it's much more important to me now. Being able to be a kid at 18-year-olds and play alongside the guys, I won't say the guys that made me play guitar because that was Silverchair, but the guys that really drove music for me. And like share the stage with like someone like Grammy Award winners, by the way, like just casually up was bringing this kid up and like, oh fuck it, we're gonna give you a go twice.
Yeah,
and
it's not like they stopped there; they just kept going. You know.
Yeah, and I can only like with the second time, like I'm glad I got to share it with my brother as well because obviously that's important for him as well. It's like something we share together. And even like just the fact that I got to be on the same stage with Chester, who's going to, in my opinion, go down as one of the greatest singers we've ever had. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy because when you think about it, like how many people get that opportunity?
Yeah. And people still don't believe it until I show them photos or video.
Yeah, but
they're
like
no,
anyone,
you're full
like
of shit, mate.
If you imagine, if you told an 18-year-old now, it's like, hey, you know, what's your favorite band? Imagine if you could go up and play with them, because you know, they'll be like, no, it's never going to happen. It's impossible. It's not impossible.
No, I'm a big believer in if you really dream for something, then you can, you know, definitely make it happen.
Crazy shit has happened. Like
let's make my album go diamond.
Mate, your one song mixtape is.
What do you mean one song, brother? There's 5 songs.
Yeah, but they all sound the same as XQC would say, mate.
XQC, bro. I'll drop XQC.
one song mixtape. That was hilarious when I heard that. But anyway,
I mean, this is the other thing as well, and we're running out of time, so this is the sort of final thing. 10 years ago, and I signed up to Linkin Park Underground as well because I wanted to guarantee I could get tickets when I had the opportunity to get tickets. You know?
That's essentially what you were using for back then.
So, but like that was like you'd buy the CD, you buy the DVD, you go see them in show, you buy the merch and so on and so, and that was like how like the world would happen around that band, and that's how you could be a fan and stuff like that. Where fast forward now, like to get a CD is actually quite rare.
Hey, I've stopped with CDs. It's vinyl or nothing.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Because all of a sudden we brought CDs because that was like the mass media.
Correct. Sanity was the go. You'd go to Sanity on. Me and Vince used to go Sanity on like release days.
Now it's like buying physical. It's like, well, if I'm going to buy physical, I'm going to buy quality, and you buy vinyl, and you see vinyl coming back. But it's like a lot of the big hits and big money making songs that come out in the last year have been fueled through social media or campaigns.
Stream only.
Not only that, just like they're like TikTok trends or they're fucking YouTube or stuff. And it's crazy when you start diving into it how much of the industry is now affected from what is social media, right? But
Yeah.
then when you think back, Linkin Park had that already figured out. They had the underground, which was effectively like sign up to our social media.
Yeah.
Know everything about
There's
us.
street teams. There's street teams, like even street teams for other bands. Like back then, you were walking down. I know I did. I walked down Marion Street at Bankstown and put posters of the new album.
I remember when
like that's how you would promote back then. There wasn't like now you just retweet my tweet.
We went from posters up to like MySpace to fucking now it's like it's everything. It's TikTok, it's Facebook, it's everything.
Yeah,
And
it's just weird how like things have come in terms of music promotion. Like, I can tell you, I'll be honest with you. I've found musicians I love now. Midnight, I found Love. I never know how to pronounce that bloke's name. I found artists like that through Twitch.
Yep. Yeah, Twitch is blowing up for music at the moment. It's insane.
I know where to post my shit.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. This is the thing, right? We joke, but getting your rap to get played on a very famous Twitch channel and get it, that is a gateway.
That's a big deal.
That's a gateway. You could.
Of course.
That's the way to go. Like there's very talented rappers that have been on the grind for 10 years that can't even achieve that.
Yeah,
100,000 people listen to my song.
That's insane.
That's more than fucking a lot of people out there, bro.
Not as many people that watch The Block, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I think you lost that fight, mate.
But it's kind of nuts, and it's so. But yeah, look, we're out of time, but it's nuts, and a lot of I don't want to say the young people, but a lot of people that are growing up now don't understand how easy like social media
getting your stuff out there is.
Yeah,
how easy anyone has it. Not just music wise, but for anything.
Oh no, that's a whole different topic. We don't have time for that.
Yeah, we'll do that next week.
We don't have time for that.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm surprised we didn't touch any stories about us two idiots. It's kind of just talking.
Yeah, it was at the start,
you did shots out of belly button, so I remember it vividly.
Oh, yeah, okay, maybe we did. Well, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I was thinking it would be. So I think you'll be right. You're gonna have to, maybe next podcast get the R+ rating, and we're gonna actually like.
Yeah, then you can hear about the car accident on the first day.
The car accident, yeah. So there's a car accident.
Vin Diesel burnout to save one of our mates from getting killed by another mate.
Yeah.
What are you
all the good
talking
shit.
about?
All the good shit.
Nonsense. Anyway, there's
there's plenty.
Anyway,
we didn't do the story about the him shouting me, but that's another one. We're gonna save that one.
We'll leave it on a cliffhanger.
We'll leave it on a cliffhanger.
God. Well, the podcast isn't going anywhere. Not until we get cancelled.
Just invite us on for the last one you want to do. You get us on. We've got you, bro.
Rated for your bro.
Just go down in flames.
We got you.
Yeah, no, it's we'll definitely get you back on at some point. We'll just try and mix it up and then do stuff. But we're at that time where we should plug yourselves. So if anyone's interested in finding out more, let's start with you, Pez. Where do they find you?
You can find me multiple places. Twitch is obviously Male Brothel. Yeah, Male Brothel is definitely one. Sometimes down at Sefton Playhouse. That's a fucking not. Nah, I'm joking.
I don't even know what that is, but I don't want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you do. Yeah, mate. You have something to learn. All right. Anyway, twitch.tv/Pesbian. I've got my Twitter. I'll plug. My Twitter is PezLP. LP obviously stands for Linkin Park. I wonder why.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram at j.pesbian. I do post guitar stuff on there. That's kind of where I've been pushing my music stuff lately. And then probably in the background of various No Pixel streams.
Yeah,
that's another good place to find me because I never stream. So
and for those No Pixel fans that are listening, you play which characters do you play?
Yeah, mate, I play off before, mate. I work down at Harmony, mate, and we're having a bit of a war with the Hage Order at the moment. So fuck Hage, mate, and Alfie for my fix your car cheap, mate.
Oh fucking hell!
And also I play a new character, which I don't think I've put on stream or haven't really said anything about, but I'll be streaming him soon. He's an old favorite for anyone that's watched me RP way back in the day. So
fucking oath. And Vince,
I catch me on SoundCloud at Mo Don't Worry. Vince Asaf is my Instagram.
I love that he plugs his SoundCloud. Oh.
And then Leboguy is my Twitch. Forgot what my Twitter is. I think it's
Yeah.
Vince Sasso. Just look for the one with Pez's eyes.
Yeah,
and
it's got my
forehead.
forehead as the cover picture.
And sometimes you show up
actually,
in
no. Go to mine, follow me, and in my it says I'm the proud owner of the forehead of, and then his tag is there. So
Yeah, right. There you go. I was going to say you sometimes show up in the background of XQC streams as well.
He shows up in the background of my streams, bro. What are you talking about?
I take over, man.
And Shelby.
You can find me at shellbunny_ on Twitter, shellbunny on Twitch, and usually I'm streaming every Thursday night.
And a VTuber
Australia
now.
time zone. As a VTuber. So if you want to come and see that.
With hand tracking.
With hand
that's all I've
tracking.
heard.
So if you like kawaii uwu bunny girl waifus.
And who doesn't, you know? It's you can go and check out Shelby. And if you follow the ZLB podcast on Twitter, that's usually where we put all the links and stuff to find all the stuff and do all the things. And you know where I am most of the time anyway. So yeah, thanks for coming on, Pez. And if anything, you've sort of tamed Leboguy.
Yeah, Yeah, he's been very.
because he did all the talking. He didn't give me a chance.
Between me
to
and
talk.
you talking, even Shelby's kind of gone a bit shell shocked. It's not my show, guys. I don't want to talk.
I don't
definitely
wanna-
not screenshotting pictures of Aladi on the block.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Let's not talk about that.
I'm gonna put one of those in the picture channel right now.
Shelby threatened to just let it be blokes and blokes for the podcast. I said, no, we need
Oh, mate,
one.
mate, blokes on blokes. Oh, what a time.
We would get cancelled.
Yeah.
We are well and truly out of time. So if you are listening to this, make sure you follow and like and review. Some people dropped reviews on the iTunes, which is nice. If you chuck in like actual reviews, like if you review it and write in a little whatever you think and stuff, we'll read it out on the podcast. There is another thing, and I don't really know how we're going to track this, but there is a rumor going around that Frog is writing a fan fiction. There's some donations made on his stream.
I'll donate.
It's already hit the goal.
I'll still
I believe-
donate.
Any further donations can come to my PayPal, and I'll take care of
I
them.
believe he wants to get it read out on the podcast. So I don't know where we're going to be. I'll give you one line that he has sent me already, just to absolutely horrible. It says here, and we'll just.
I'm so excited.
It goes, and it's about myself and others. So it goes. Aladi quivered in pure ecstasy as he slid his fingers down Nora's scaly flesh suit, shuddering at the thought of helping her shed. Which
I love
I'm fucking bouncing.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm going
Keep
back.
going.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. So there might be a bonus episode or something like that will come out, but I'm pretty sure when Frog writes it, it's going to end up on the podcast. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, for now, I'm going to say have a great day, and yeah, we'll see you next week. So say goodbye.
Later.
So much.
Say much.